Hey, what's up everybody? This is Jose from Southern Life, and on today's video, we're going to be talking about what it's like to be Latino in the state of Alabama, where I currently live. The state of Alabama is 4.6% Latino. That means that there are over 250,000 Latinos living in the state of Alabama, and we're going to talk about what it's like to be one of those Latinos. Between the year 2000 and 2010, Alabama's Latino population grew at 144%, making it the fastest growing Latino community in the entire country. However, Alabama State Law 56, written up in 2011, said that he did no longer want illegal immigrants in Alabama, and it would not hurt the Alabama economy. That statement proved to be far from true, as many sectors of agriculture were completely eliminated while others were left struggling. It is no secret that U.S. citizens, like myself, are not interested in working in watermelon picking or chicken plant, and that these jobs are most likely going to be done by migrant workers. The rate of growth of the Latino population, especially being an illegal population, was certainly a concern to the residents of Alabama, and it prompted a lot of people to want to make this law in order to slow down the growth of illegals. So the question comes, is this really a racial law discriminating Latinos, or is this a law based off of a political party affiliation? The answer is very clear. This politician was recorded saying that African American voters in Alabama were Aborigines. Yeah, very offensive. So while an effort was made to mask this law along party lines, it is very clear that it was meant to be a racist law against Latinos, as even those Latinos like Colombians, Cubans, and Venezuelans who tend to vote Republican are really shying away from the state of Alabama, not because of its political affiliations, because they're also Republicans, but for the racist context of this law. So if you're moving to Alabama and you are Latino, you need to understand that this law will feel like a racist law. So this law will definitely aggravate you if you're a Latino. Even if you're a legal Latino, you're required to show them. I also show them my gun permit and my gun. Florida, for example, has an agricultural law that allows you to hire illegal immigrants for certain types of agricultural work. This law was passed by Republican lawmakers as well, who agreed that nobody's gonna go pick tomatoes or oranges or watermelons or work in a dang chicken plant if they're a U.S. citizen. I don't care about politics, but it's impossible to talk about being a Latino in Alabama without breaking down these laws and how they're applied and how they affect Latinos in Alabama, because it is a crucial part of the reason why Latinos are afraid to come out to Alabama, and it is definitely one of the biggest challenges that you're going to face as a Latino, whether you're legal or illegal, because again, the law is discriminatory in that it allows people to be able to question whether you're legal based on your appearance, and probably unconstitutional in some way. I'm not going to show them my U.S. citizenship paperwork. I want to show them my Alabama gun permit. So I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that if you're Latino and you come to Alabama, it's going to be a sweet ride, because at some point it really isn't. I mean, the people from Alabama don't even like each other. What makes you think they're going to like you as an outsider? But then again, almost 250,000 Latinos are here regardless of that. I don't know about you, but I'm not going to let racist people dictate anything in my life. So now I can't live in Alabama because some people here are racist and they don't want me here. Nah, man, I'm a U.S. citizen. There's 50 states. I can live anywhere I want in this country. They have guns. I go buy guns too. They buy a military tank. I'll go to the auction and I'll buy one too. You give them that power. I moved into my neighborhood. First thing somebody said something to me, I said, "You don't want a Latino living next door to you?" "Oh, hold on, that's easy. I want $200,000 for my property. When you're ready to go to a bank and write a check, it's yours. But in the meantime, it's my property, and I'm a law-abiding citizen. I don't have a criminal record, so if one of these people around here has a problem with me, and they're a crackhead meth addict, when the cops show up, they're not going to take those meth head sides. And I got money for lawyers too. And I got a big life insurance policy, so if something happens to me, we're going to buy 20 more houses in Alabama and move 100 more Latinos over here." And that's the reality of being Latino in Alabama. You gotta be strong. You can't let people push you around. You got stupid people here, and you got stupid people in the city as well. So anywhere you go in life, whether you're in a city or out in the country, you're gonna have people that are gonna try to extort you. They're gonna try to intimidate you, and you're either gonna let them walk over you or you're not. Every single state has different laws. And those laws affect the people, the economy, and they're driven by the views of the people in that state. So if you want to live in a country place like Alabama, but you don't want to deal with the racial aspect of it, hey, go to Texas. Northeast Texas, I was just there. It's identical to Alabama. You're afraid of that? Try Texas. The laws of Alabama, that's the way they are, and they reflect the sentiments of the people that live here. Then you have places like Montgomery, Birmingham, just like living in any other city in Florida or California or New York. So Alabama, people think Alabama's this giant red place. It's not. There's a lot of places in Alabama, and if you're a Latino and you have those views, you might feel more comfortable there, and it's honestly no different than any other large city in the country. The purpose of this video is to help people understand what it's actually like to live in Alabama if they're Latino, because it's a question I get all the time. Yes, it's very difficult, but it's very economically rewarding. My family's just bought a house in Florida, in Lee County, Florida, and they're looking at more Confederate flags on their commute home than I am here in Alabama, which raises the question, isn't every other state in the United States having these same exact problems? Living in a place like Florida or California or Texas is not going to stop you from having to face racism. I have family in Naples, Florida. They were recently attacked by a woman who was, less than a year ago, arrested for attacking an African-American family on that same street. Slurs, unprovoked attack, by the way. Literally getting hit by people being called racial slurs. I haven't faced that here in Alabama, and if I did, they'd be in a wheelchair. So it's interesting to me how people make the claims that Alabama's racist. Alabama is unwelcoming, but I know what's going on down there. It doesn't even register with the people that are there that it's a racist place, and then they want to call Alabama racist when my experience here hasn't been any better. It hasn't been any worse. It hasn't been any better either, but it's about the same situation you have everywhere. Yet, they want to point a finger at Alabama. The New York Times recently just did an article about inmates being killed in Alabama prisons. Worse stuff going on in Rikers Island, which is a New York City prison. It's in the middle of an island in the middle of the water. And this prison actually has a worse track record than any other prison in the entire country. But they're not making articles about their Rikers Island. They're making articles about Alabama. All Alabama is really doing is enforcing their laws, which is what any state's supposed to do. In Alabama, people, even though their views may be conflicting, they're still stuck in the same boat. Like, for example, I've met people here who've told me specifically that they hate African Americans. And they have African American grandchildren. That's a very complex situation. I think Alabama really is a great place for Latinos. I think it's a great place if you're legal, and a horrible place if you're illegal, where 43% of people can afford to pay a mortgage of $300,000. In Florida, it's 33%. California's only 31%. So, people say, oh, California's horrible. Florida ain't got nothing on California when it comes to real estate prices and affordability. Actually, it's only a 2% difference between Californians and Florida on are they able to afford a mortgage. That's not much of a difference. First, you have elderly people that are retired. They pass away. Latinos move in. After Latinos move in, gentrification moves in, and then the place blows up economically. It went through that cycle in Sebring, Florida. Sebring, Florida used to be all older people. They were retired. They passed away. Latinos moved in. Now it's getting gentrified. There's a cycle of economy and how it works in the United States. And the Latinos coming to Alabama was like cornerstone of economical growth in Alabama would have been Latinos coming here. Because after the Latinos came here, then you would have had other changes. But Alabama doesn't want change. It wants to remain the same way. I understand not wanting people to come and change the place where you're from. But the thing is that there's millions of people in Florida, and the people that are coming from New York, California, and northern states to Florida, they're going to make the people that are from Florida move to other places. And among those people is going to be an increasing amount of Latinos who can no longer afford to live in Florida, and even Texas as well, in the larger cities, that they're going to end up in Alabama. So unavoidably, Alabama is going to have to soak in other people. You know, the mentality of city people is to make life as complicated and as difficult as possible. Now everybody's got to work more hours, everybody's getting paid less, everybody lives in a smaller house. No, that's not how Alabama works. I'm not coming to Alabama and trying to change anything, but I am aware that if we Latinos have a reputation for working for less, that I can't work for less, because that's what the people here don't want, and that's what makes Alabama great, is that people don't want to work for less. Personally, I love this state. I think most people are not racist. They're incredible people, and the people that are racist, I don't really care, because you're not paying my bills. And again, I don't think it's any different than any other state, regardless of what media wants you to believe. That's it. This is Jose. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. And if you have any questions or any thoughts, please feel free to share them on this video. I love you guys. Stay out of trouble.